Hello and welcome. The final qualifying session of the season. Ultimate Virtual, the grand finale of Season 5. I'm here presenting the Interlagos race, and for the very first time in UV history, alongside me is Kubo. Kubo, how are we feeling?
Hello.
Oh man,
What is me?
this should be an absolute cracker. So much at
I'm
stake.
here. I'm here to Jake one it. I'm here to see Jake win it all.
Yep, complete impartiality from our whole commentary team. Right, but you want? Oh wow, that could shake things up, couldn't it? Crikey,
Heavy rain to start with.
Hetmenica on provisional pole. Kamikaze is in second. What is this? What is that? That's unbelievable.
Jake in 14th.
Oh,
Grandy in last.
it's gonna dry up though. There's never a dull qualifying session in Interlagos. Apologies. This is unbelievable. They're all going to be in for wets. They're all going to maybe be back in time for dries, no? What do you think?
I think it's gonna be quite interesting. I just realized I should probably plug in my mic and headphones. I've done that.
Ah, that's not a bad idea. Let me adjust the
What?
sound. Oh, the rain's coming back. No more dry laps to be run. Hetmenica is your pole sitter. Kamikaze will start from second. Then Sobel and Anti. Oh no, we've had an improvement. Amazing on the wets has
Front
gone
row!
up. It's front row for the team that's 21 points off safety. That is unbelievable. That is
And it's
unbelievable.
trying again!
Not in
It's trying
time.
again!
Not in time, but amazing. It's going to
Are we
be...
seeing any more improvements?
I really doubt it. It's full wet.
Anti going slightly faster.
Yeah. Let's see as they all... Oh my god, yes, you're
Anti up
right.
to third.
There's an...
Jake up to third. He was down in 14th. He's improved up to third. Amazing.
They're setting all their best times on a soaking wet track. It's
Grandy still bottom. He's fighting for the driver's title, and Anti and Jake are looking way better.
That's unbelievable. He's led this championship from start to finish. This may be the final lap. He's not going to get to the line in time. Amazing will finish this qualifying session in second place. Can anyone pip Porsche to the pole? It doesn't look like that's going to happen. It really doesn't. No improvements up and down the grid. Your pole sitter is Hetmenica.
And we've got Hetmenica starting from pole position alongside him, his teammate from Porsche Racing Group. They are 21 points behind 9th in the championship, but they're starting with a 1-2 lockout. Behind them in a second row, it's two driver title challengers, Jake and Anti. They're separated by 1 point, both behind Grandy. But they're the only ones out of the three in the top 10. Kami behind them starts from 5th. He's also, although it is a far shot, he is also in the driver's fight.
Technically, in the driver's fight.
Technically, Sobel starts from 6th. It's Abfer, the first of the Fox drivers. They're looking to fight for the constructors. They might even take the drivers. Kubo, Jake's teammate from Neon Sunset, they're also fighting for that constructors. Then it's not that guy from Flying V, and Fox from Fox. We've got Vladinator starting from 11th. SFR have a far shot into fighting for the constructors, but it might be possible if Anti and Vlad can put on a show. Rito starts from 12th, Jurini from 13th. Pet Crew is the highest Thunder X starter at 14th. The team that has led every single round in both the Drivers and Constructors Championships have one of their drivers starting from 14th, and as you can see below, their main driver, Grandy, starting from last. Mart and Bluebell Boy lockout. the 8th row on the grid for KTV. It will be a tough fight between them and the Forza Roja drivers and BFX and Porsche, of course. I think all four might be involved in some regards. And then we have Cato from VLO and Urist from VLO 17th and 19th, sandwiching poor Andrian starting from 18th.
I'm going to ask you right now for your prediction. Who is getting relegated?
I think the ones that have the highest chance are either Colost Forza or Forza Roja. And if they both don't score points, then it will be Colost Forza.
Could you imagine a world where BBB Force X is a Challenger virtual team?
I think it would be quite a surprise. We've got Sobo in the top, we've got Rito closer to the top 10. I think they can just about edge out the other teams near them, and Porsche can definitely catch up if they just stay where they are.
Oh my god. This is truly one of the most remarkable finales you will ever watch. Grandy in Season 1 went into the finale in championship contention and didn't win out after leading the championship for a long time in that season. In Season 4, he went into the lead 24 points ahead of Rito in the championship finale and didn't win out. Will we see a repeat in Season 5, or will he miraculously climb from the back of the grid to finish ahead of Jake and Antti? I couldn't call it either way. Let's get into the racing action. Here we go then. For the very last time in Season 5, we're underway for the season finale. Medika starts on the soft, but his teammate gets a better start. Amazing up the inside into turn 3. Takes the lead of the Brazilian Grand Prix. The man who's never stood on the podium in Ultimate Virtual leads the final race, potentially, of his career. Sobel ahead of Abva and Antti. Soft and medium for the drivers behind. Abva got a good start on the soft. He's up to 4th already. He's looking to make that more if he can get a good run down the straight. Kamikaze is hanging around the Neon Sunset cars. They're 6th, 7th and 8th at the moment. Kubo past his teammate Jake Brad. Kamikaze looking at the inside on Abva. Kubo looking at the outside on Abva. They're both looking at Meneka now. They can't quite get him as the straight runs out in the end. Antti Amazing so well into the lead in what is potentially his final ever race in Ultimate Virtual. 2 retirees, 1 and 2 here. Championship contender from the most unlikely of circumstances right behind. What a start.
Jake has dropped back severely. Look how many medium runners there was in that top 10. Grandy still in last, fighting Andrian for 19th.
Yes. He is definitely still in last place. Hard for him at the start. That's actually almost an inexcusable strategy, to be honest. You really need to get yourself high up. He does head up the inside into 4 on that straight leading up to it. Gets the move done. Kamikaze has had an excellent start. Antti is back down. He's lost 3 positions on that last lap, and he's down into 6th place now. His teammate right behind him, side by side with Kubo, whose teammate is right behind him. Not that guy rounding out the top 10 at the moment. Sobel and Hetmenica. Amazing right behind. What a result this would be for Porsche. It obviously does all hang in the balance, but we know that Porsche need at least 21 points to have any chance of survival, and 22 is obviously removes that tie-break against Forza Roja, against BFX and KTV. We'll have a quick look at the standings. Great action here on track, and Kubo, you can keep an eye on it. But we will just on the recording have a quick look at the standings. Driver standings first. Grandy leads by 4 points over Jake, 1 point over Antti is Jake. Then Abva 10 back. Fox and Kamikaze mathematically still in it. Thunder X 1 point over Fox, who are themselves 2 points over Neon Sunset. Superfast Racing again still in it, technically also our team velocity. And then we've got Porsche 69 points, nice. BFX 90 points, Kolos Tvorza 90 points, Forza Roja 91. Those are the 4 teams that you're looking at for relegation here. Flying V Racing, Team Velocity technically can be relegated, but stand very, very little chance of it. However, anything can happen in this race. Wow. Sobel leads from Aptly, then Abva. Hetmenica's dropped back to 4th position. The soft going off a bit, Kuba?
That might be the... Yeah, you see both Neon Sunset have dropped down now, 8th and 10th for their constructors fight. However, we've got both Thunder X's outside of the points. Fox is outside, but Abver is currently on the podium, so I think he's doing the best he can to give Fox, in their debut season, the best chances of getting the Constructors' title. Right now, I believe it is Fox in first because of those 15 points provided by the... Well, now it becomes 12, but it remains the case.
Yeah,
Het is into the pits. Oh, you got Vlad, you got Kubo, runners coming in now, some others staying out.
absolutely. So Hetmanica, who is famous for a pit stop in season 2 in Interlagos that threw away a podium, makes the first pit stop out of anyone here today, and he has taken the hard compound tyres. Urist now in last place, he's come in also for the hards. He claimed his championship here back in season 3 against Jake Brad. Jake now looking very, very good for a title date if he can scrap back ahead of Anti. Remember, no tokens in this race. Cars and whatever the drivers can muster will decide the points and the titles come the end of it. 3 huge things up for grabs. The Drivers' World Championship, the World Constructors' Championship, and of course, Survival in Ultimate Virtual. Fox, with unbelievable story, being, taking over the defunct WTech team at the start of this season, a season 1 original team that just fell out of love really with the sport. And Fox came in, took it over, renamed it after himself. You can say about that what you want. But it's amazing the re-energizing they've had in that team. Both drivers in the top 5 in the World Drivers' Championship as it stands, and Abva with a good result here could single-handedly give them a Constructors' Championship in their first season. Also in their first season, a Neon Sunset, and, well, Kubo, team principal. How have you felt about this first season? Do you think you could still get the title?
It's still possible, I think, but as... Oh, look, Jake's right behind Abver, actually.
Oh, that's not Jake. That's Abba, and that's Jake. And they're fighting. Anti leads as Applamazing, Kamikaze, and Sobel all into the pit lane. Hetmanica took a few laps undercut. That seems to have worked relatively well for him. The drivers ahead take the hard. Anti leads, and of course with this leads the World Drivers' Championship, I believe. Doesn't he? 17
Yes,
points
of
back.
course.
And
He is 5 points back. SFR 17 points
you're right.
back.
Sorry, you're right. I'm getting my championships mixed up. This is terrible form. He's in now. He needs to try and not hit the safety car or whatever that other car is. I think ghosting in pit lane works for... Oh my god, look at this fight for the lead. Side by side into turn 1. Applamazing sends it down the inside. 2 men.
It's the 2 retirees.
I know.
They are fighting for their final victory.
They are giving it all. They know they have nothing left to race for. But, well, a champion survival for both of them, to be totally honest. I mean, but they're putting absolutely everything out there on the table for their final ever races in Ultimate Virtual. So many races between them. Race wins for Sobel, less success for Applamazing, obviously a Porsche team that fell out of form this season and previously racing for Nuri. He's not had the best cars available to him, but he's been awfully consistent in these leagues. He scored points in every race bar one last season. Anti, with a wide line through turn 4, gets Applamazing on the exit. Back into the lead he goes on the medium compound tyres. Teammate Vladinator holds the fastest lap point as it stands. You can't take the point for fastest lap if you finish outside of the top 10. I don't think. I need to check that.
Yeah, he was just an 8th, so he has dropped 3 positions down. It might be because of his softs running out.
That does make sense. The worn soft. Rito still not into the pit lane. I mean, a bit of rain could hugely help him, but no, he's got to come in now. And it's good to have the sort of non-rain affected first stint or so, because this first stint is so important here. You saw in the reverse grid race, the Nerdies back in season 3 dropping massively off the pace, starting really high up, going down. The Fuerza Rojas stuck it out in that top section, finished 6th and 9th or something like that, and scored the required points to stay up. They might go down this season, you never know.
I have to say, as things stand, Superfast Racing and Fox are tied for the Constructors' title.
That's...
With Abver in 4th, Vladinator now, however, falls from 9th. That loses SFR 2 points, so now it is Fox. But if SFR were to tie Fox, then they would win on tiebreak. SFR would get 4 race wins, as Anti is currently in 1st.
It's unbelievable that, and of course it guarantees Anti the title. He needs only to win, and no other result matters. Grandy is up to 13th. He has made slow but steady progress. He is now on a level with, albeit older medium tyres, but Vladinator, who is one of the favourites to be winning this Grand Prix, qualified low, but also only driver to make 2 stops thus far. Grandy needs to get a move on, as does Fox. Really, he needs to have it. He needs to help out his
Yeah,
teammate. I mean, there's no doubting that Abra is putting in a stellar job in the AAA front three at the moment, but it's
single-handedly getting them that title at the current moment.
with and now no longer, I assume, with Sobel going past Abra into pit lane. Jake and Kamikaze fall through. Kami is still with the worst car on the grid by about 1.4 index points. Is somehow in 6th position. I mean, baffling. Oh wow, Jake in
They do have the average speed of the grid. They don't have anything else. Their grip is the second worst, and their acceleration's the worst. Their turbo is also joint worst. So it's just for sheer pure will that Kami is staying up in that sixth position right now.
side by side, Anti and Amazing for the lead of the race. Anti on mediums, Apley on hards. They're actually pretty similar lives left. You'd think that Apley's been on those hards for a little while longer so far. But Anti, with the better pace there, makes his way through. They got a grip upgrade SFR. They would have loved 2 grip upgrades. They didn't get that. In fact, the grippiest car on the grid is being piloted by not that guy running in 9th place. 9 grip, which was just 3 races ago, only at 4. They've won 5 grip upgrades in their last 3 rounds. That's pretty unbelievable. I don't know why they particularly decided to invest in grip rather than anything else. Research, acceleration, turbo, yeah, anything. But I mean, it works through the middle sector, so you can't fault them for it. Still close up top, first and second. This is a race with such everything going on that it's sort of 6 or 7 Grand Prix worth of action are packed into the results and what they mean from this Grand Prix. It is incomprehensible at times to follow, but we're trying our best.
Abver has dropped to P6. There's 4 drivers ahead of him yet to pit. Kami now pits Abver up into 5th position.
Jake through up into 6th place. What does this mean for Neon Sunset at the moment? We've got Jake in 6th and Kubo down in 11th. No points for him. Are they doing well, that's
It's
8 points, isn't it?
150. It's 153 points for them, 157 for SFR, and 157 for Fox. So Fox and SFR are tied once more, and or would win the tiebreak. Anti now pits out of the lead of the race. That means Fox are in the lead once again.
Incredibly, he comes out in 2nd place. Sobel and Hetmenica so busy battling on very old hard and slightly unfresh mediums that Anti has pitted, come out in P2, and is only a few seconds off the back of Amazing, who does need to come in pretty soon for a change of tyres. Rain is on, obviously.
It might be Anti versus Het. It looks like Sobel might drop out top with the current position he finds himself in. He's got hards as bad as that, please, but he's with Anti and Het. He's not 4 seconds ahead.
I mean, that's bang on. So yeah, obviously we have to keep an eye out for who is going to win this race, but the points scored for the championship mean so infinitely large amounts to these drivers and these teams. It's just, hang on, I need some water. Take it away, Cubs.
Well, let's take a look at the relegation right now, because with Apley in 1st and Het in 4th, about to be into 3rd, they are already they're already fighting VLO and FVR even in terms of points tallies. With how incredible it's Apley's into the pits for a fresh set of softs. Amber is back on the podium. Jake up into 5th. Sobel exits out in 7th. That is quite a huge drop.
I have very little grasp over what this actually means, but I do find it hilarious. All of these major parties of the various teams, both fighting for a Constructors' Championship and their literal survival in the division, just constantly trading places, all after the same thing, a race win and hopefully a double podium. Let's look at those who are really fighting for something today, who aren't in the points at the moment. 19th is Andres for Cola Sforza. He's not going to be providing any help for them today in their bid for not being relegated. Andrian, similarly, in 18th for Fuengirola. Jurist, they're literally fighting for nothing. But Fox is not adding to his team that's named after him. He's getting lapped by his teammate Abva now, who runs in 4th position. Pit crew, whoop. Not helping out Thunder X's title charge either, having led the Constructors' Championship from rounds 1 to 11. They're fighting for nothing. Grandy still in 13th. Bluebell, meaning Colo Sforza, not scoring any points, may go straight back down at the end of Season 4.
As things stand, Colo Sforza are in a relegation spot.
Oh my god.
With 90 points. They're not scoring any. BFX are scoring, so they're no longer tied. And PRG are, of course, 2nd and 3rd and fastest lap. They are way ahead of them. Also, Forza Roja scoring even just 4.
Yes, Kamikaze coming in absolutely crucially there. Rito as well, but mainly, looking at Sobel. If there is one thing that I wouldn't have believed you if you told this to me 2 seasons ago, but Sobel, in his final ever race for BFX, getting them a 6th or 7th place, being what might just save them from relegation, is absolutely incredible. But that is his leaving gift to the team as it stands. These are crucial points he's taking now, and he takes 5th place with it as well. BFX looking to, somewhat annoyingly, fight on another day in Ultimate Virtual. They've had a terrible, terrible season, but they're not going to suffer the ultimate consequences for it. Anti ahead of Abba. Yep.
Probably the funniest part of it is they are relegating Bluebell Boys in order to achieve staying up.
I feel so bad for, if KTV do go down, whoever is being promoted taking on the research of KTV, which is precisely 0, has been massively screwed over by Bluebell's complete unwillingness to prepare at all for next season. But maybe those upgrades have been completely necessary because they've just not scored the points this season they've needed. Anti-leading, I assume. What does this mean actually for Fox and SFR at the moment? Anti in 1st, Abva 3rd, Vlad in 8th, and Fox out of the points. That's 29 points for SFR, isn't it? And only 15 for Fox.
So SFR would be at a flat 160. Meanwhile, 162.
Ooh.
So Fox are currently winning, with Abford just being on the podium is enough to ward off an anti-victory and Vlad in 4th. No, sorry, in 8th with 4 points to be scored.
If it was Anti in 1st, Abva in 3rd, Vlad, by finishing 7th or 8th, could either way flip that title to
Yes, Vlad finished 7th.
Yeah. That is quite something.
Anti was into the pits recently, now Apley is into the pits, and Het and Abford were both past him. Gotta say, there's so much. It's hard to say, but a moment of memory. The Thunder X, who are currently once again looking to lose everything in the tokenless finale, which is quite sad.
Yeah.
Grandy and Peck grew out of the points. They have both up. They are upped into the top 15, but it's not enough. And also Neon Sun's looking too well. Kubo just on the. That's me. Now he's in 9th. Okay. So I guess he didn't want me to be correct, but on top 10 and Jake in 7th is definitely not enough to bring it to the big guys. Abfer in the lead of the race at the current moment.
Oh, he's got a while left to go on those mediums as well. Incredibly, remarkably, we've had 0 rain so far this race. I fully expect that to change because Brazil always does have that habit of completely screwing you over. Anti in
the top 7 all have about 1 or 2 second gaps to each other. That is remarkable.
It's crazy. Look at this fleet of cars making their way through. Hetmenica.
Kami has dropped to 10th. He's dropped to 10th. He's just holding on to points.
Could that spell disaster for Fuerza Roja potentially? I mean, that would be. They've got Porsche coming through, so Fuerza would have 1 point over KTV, unless
Yeah, they
Bluebell can
just
move
have
himself
one
up.
point, so Call Sforza really need to get a move on.
Mm.
This is the best chance they would get.
The biggest chasm that we have at the moment is Grandy in 13th, back to Caddo in 14th. Any drivers 14th or below, you can completely write out of the equation 4 points, in my humble opinion. I don't think
And
any
that
chance.
includes heavy hitters.
Yeah,
Heavy
pit
hitters
crew,
like Pet Crew,
Andrian,
Adrian,
Fox,
and
Andres.
Mark.
Yeah, that is. It's remarkable that we have two teams not fighting for anything. FVR and Velocity are free to absolutely chill. Hetmenica has a lack of chill at the moment. He isn't in the title fight, but he does desperately want this team to stay up. They have, hilariously, already been listed as a future team on the Challenger Virtual Mega Table for next season, being 21 points down with 1 round to go, but they are looking to fight it back tooth and nail. And they do have it.
Not to mention Lev has signed up to sell this team to
To
Hetmenica.
Hetmenica. Brilliant. Hetmenica fighting for the survival of a team that will become his own team. Meanwhile, 3 wide for the race lead as they come down out of turn 3. Hetmenica gets passed by Ab for the mediums in a straight line. The better tyre, Anti, got through there as well. The entire grid on hards and mediums, with one exception, Jaruni on softs right at the back. He likes to do his own strategy, Jerry. Not that guy in what? How did he get there?
He's just been there fighting aptly
Oh.
at the current moment. Jake by himself in sixth, and Sobel and Kubo. Kami has managed to run away from the double threat of BFX and KTV on his back. Vlad is the closest one to him now, as it looks like both Bluebell Boy and Rito had to pet, and they're outside of the points quite solidly at the current moment.
At the end of Season 4 of Ultimate Virtual, Pappy Pops got relegated and were replaced by BBB Force Z, later renamed Kolos Forza. As it stands, Pappy Pops, well, not quite as it stands, but as it stood just moments ago, Pappy Pops have been confirmed as Challenger Virtual Champions, and Kolos Forza will be returning from whence they came, back in Challenger Virtual, for a remarkable swap over that will see us return, pretty much, to our Season 4 grid for next season. A direct swap. You never see that too often, do you?
Yeah, most interestingly, it is highly possible that the Colost Forza lineup might be retained in BFX next season.
Oh, I did press Bluebell for some comment about that, but he didn't have anything to say really. Well, he said "you'll see" ... about 3 times, which is very Bluebell of him. Yeah, crazy race. I didn't realize not that guy was doing well, but he is. So well done to that guy. Hetmenica, 4th place for him. So what was it that they only need 4th and 5th Porsche to get ahead of KTV, who currently are not on course to score any points. Is that correct?
Yep.
So they're
So
smashing
they've
that.
got second and fourth 9 points. They are easily smashing that. Colost Forza are in the most trouble right now, as both BFX and Forza Roja just have that one person hanging on to at least some points. Colost Forza don't have anybody.
It looks like Bluebell Boy and Kamikaze, I mean, they are separated by a good few seconds, but sitting in 12th and 10th will be fighting for the future of their own teams. You'd love to see it. Aptly is leading. I have very little doubt that Porsche, or whatever they'll become next season, re-put under that ownership of Hetmenica, who the team was bought from at the end of Season 2 and made into Porsche from Spire Motorsports. I have very little doubt that they will stay in Ultimate Virtual. They are, as it stands, 4th and 5th because Aptly just came in. They are safe by
That's
1
enough.
point. Yeah, that is pretty crazy. Anti, then Abva, then Not That Guy, then Hetmenica. It is a 4-car fight between, well...
Aptly has just pitted for soft tires. I think he'll have to pit once more before the end of the race.
I think you're right. Maybe even twice if he goes ultra aggressive. No, sorry, I'm being stupid. Sobel, 6th position. This keeps BFX safe. Not by a long way, but as it stands, with Sobel, Rito's fallen out of the points. Komi is still in there. And we've got Jake and Kubo. Is the championship charge over for Neon Sunset Virtual? You weren't expecting much. You have found yourselves in this position, but surely 7th and 9th won't be good enough, will it?
No, Abver and Anti are completely outdoing them at the current moment. And one thing that we can kind of scratch the lack of focusing on is definitely the fact that Anti's pretty much got the driver's title guaranteed. Jake is 6 positions away. It would take a miracle for Anti to not win the driver's title.
That is
So
truly incredible. He would also become the first driver to ever win 3 Ultimate Virtual Grand Prix in a row, would he not?
I believe so. He did win.
He
It
won the
was
last
Singapore
2.
and Istanbul.
Yeah, he would
Yeah.
become the first ever driver to win 3 Ultimate Virtual races in a row. I mean, he'd have to ask the man standing in 10th place at the moment how to do that, because he's the only one who's done it so far in any league. But
Have I?
9th now. I wasn't talking about you.
Oh yes, Kami, the infamous Chevy rapper,
The
is
infamous
about to get his
microbus.
record shared with Mr. Anti Amazing as long as Anti stays in that top spot, and it looks like he will. But it's such a fierce battle. The most fierce battle here is definitely SFR versus Fox. Really, who is winning that
So let
at
me
the
get this
current
right.
moment?
I'll pop up the driver standing the constructors very quickly. So there is Neon Sunset we can effectively count out as we can Thunder X. Despite Neon Sunset having 2 cars in the points, that does feel harsh to say, but Superfast are 16 points behind Fox. So, Anti having currently 10 points over Abver, Vladinator having currently 4 points over Fox. That is not enough, is it?
Fox is winning by 1 point right now.
Ah,
They need Abver down in 4th for something.
that is...
Vladinator
Yeah, go on.
is looking very solid for eighth right now. Vladinator is looking at least 8th. He's catching Jake at the current moment. Apli is catching Abver. He's got better tires. This is the thing that determines the constructor's title here. Vlad into the pits for the final time.
There are so many beautiful parallels here to previous seasons. You have not that guy who briefly, just a few laps ago, was in the lead. Came in for softs more recently, of course, but his teammate, Jiruni, in an FVR in Season 3, completely out of the blue, won the season finale. Starting like 8th on the grid as
Apli
well.
ahead of Abver. Anti-hit and Abver all pitting.
It's a straight shoot to the end. Anti and Het both took the mediums, and Abva has gone for the soft. He is absolutely going for this, and I think
He has a lot of catching up to do.
he does. And that's why he's taken that tyre. I have very little doubt. He needs to close down that 3-second gap as quickly as he can. Sobel is pitting, and we need to look at how that works in relation to Vladinator, who's on a very slightly older tyre. And is 1 second behind. Anti resumes the lead of the race in the only fight that seems to have been wrapped up so far here. And you wouldn't have believed me if I told you this 5 races ago. The Anti for Superfast Racing, remarkably, is on course to win the World Drivers' Championship, having, prior to this season, prior to 5 races ago, not taken a single win since the Season 1 finale. He might cap it off in a beautiful manner by doing exactly that in the Season 5 finale, taking the title. The man who won the championship that day, Eurist, is down in 18th with nothing to fight for. I do feel bad for him. I feel bad for Butter, actually. Butter, hi if you're watching. Your team is fighting for nothing, but I hope you're enjoying anyway.
Most important bit here is Abver needs to finish on the podium, but the Porsches are denying them. Porsches and SFRs are basically helping each other out right now.
That's an amazing Vladinator and Hetmenica, Anti and Levioso.
I'm
One of those
into the
relationships.
4 laps before the end. 4 laps before the end. Kubo and Andrian in for soft. Genius
Why
strategy.
did you brake at the pit exit? What was the point of that?
Plea into the lead. He's into the lead ahead of Anti.
He is. Does that have any consequence? Yes, it does on SFR's Constructors' Championship, right?
Oh, it does. It drops them beneath Neon Sunset even.
Crikey.
He needs to win this.
He really does. We have 3 laps
Two
left.
teams that were
Anti
cooperating. Now Anti's threatened by them.
up the
He needs to
inside.
keep the win.
On the inside, but he's being shielded off by Kubo, who's a lap down, but still trying to protect his team ahead of them in the World Constructors' Championship. Anti took the lead, but Applemation comes back up the inside and he retakes the lead in the Brazilian Grand Prix on lap 49 of 51. We're getting a fight for everything, all the way to the checkered flag. The man who hasn't won in something like 45 races before this season. The man who has never stood on an Ultimate Virtual podium and races his final ever race. This man, the last time he raced in a Brazil Grand Prix finale was in a Nuri Racing team car that finished dead last and got relegated from the division. The sheer contrast that is going on now, keeping his team alive by winning the Grand Prix, is simply incredible. Anti in second place. We have one final lap in the Ultimate Virtual season. Kubo is holding Anti up here. Applemazing leads us onto lap 51 and Anti goes deep into turn 1. Pit crew back up the inside and we're going to have rain.
We're gonna have a rain.
Finally it
Anti
comes.
needs to win this for the Constructors' title, but please pulling away. And that means they will go to Fox.
He's absolutely driving away at the moment. The rain will come, but not in time. For the first ever time in Ultimate Virtual, in his final ever race, Applemazing wins the Brazilian Grand Prix and saves Porsche from relegation. Anti, though, finishes in second place. If my maths and Kubo's maths is correct, that means that he is the Ultimate Virtual Season 5 World Champion. Hetmenica makes it a double podium for Porsche, something they have not experienced in a very long time. And Abba, 4th place is just enough for him and Fox. That is the Constructors' Championship for them in their first ever season. To top it off, we've got a tied fastest lap. I don't even remember how I do those. But Kubo. What does this mean?
Let me just calculate all of this real quick here.
I'll go through the results and you do the calculations, deal?
Yeah.
Applemazing wins and takes the fastest lap, maybe. For Porsche, a 1 and 3 is more than enough. Porsche Racing Group, or whatever they become when sold off to the driver in 3rd place next season, are safe and will fight another day in Ultimate Virtual. Anti finishes 2nd for Super Fast Racing. That is enough to, completely against the odds, in a crazy, crazy season, for the first time ever, give him the World Drivers' Championship. Our first new champion crowned since we raced at this very track in Season 2. Abva in 4th place will be also absolutely... I don't think you'll ever see a happier top 4 in any racing career than that. We have 2 drivers with a win and a podium who have saved their team from relegation. A driver who has won the World Drivers' Championship from nowhere to this in the final few races of the season. And a driver who has won his team in his first season and in their first season of existence, the Constructors' Championship. Not that guy. In a hectic race, he played very, very well through it and finishes in 5th place for Flying V Racing. That, I believe, takes them ahead of Velocity to finish off the season. So that is a good 5th place for them in the championship. Unless that means that Porsche actually gets into 5th, I don't even know. But Kuba will come back with our final standings. Go for it.
Here we go. First for the World Drivers' Championship. Of course, it's definitely Anti with 105 points. Becomes our first ever, other than on your all Drivers Champion, finishing 8 or 9 points ahead of Jake in 2nd. Then it's Grandy, then Abfer, and then maybe some other folk jumping up ahead of Fox and Kami. Who knows about that? But Constructors title goes to Fox Oversteer Experience. 159 points. At the end there, aptly just forces SFR to be content with a single title, as not only does SFR drop to second, they drop to third. Neon Sunset will round off their season in second with for 155 or 54. It depends on the fastest laps. But nonetheless, they round off the season in second. At the very end there, they even had a chance to have something greater, but the gaps were too big at that point. And finally, SFR. Well, not finally, but SFR finished the season in third with 153 points. So it's 6 points between first and third in the Constructors. Thunder X led every single round. They finish in fourth in the Constructors. 148 points. 11 between first and fourth. Then in fifth, we have Flying V Racing. Not that guy's performance has just managed to make them stay ahead of PRG, who will finish in sixth, either losing out on tiebreak or by a single point. Specifics of the fast laps to be determined later, but Porsche are definitely in sixth. VLO finished the season in seventh, BFX in eighth, Forza Roja in ninth, and Coolest Forza are going straight on the Challenger Virtual at first time of asking with 90 points, just 3 less than Forza, just 6 less than BFX.
We mustn't forget that Kamikaze scored 2 points in this race somehow, with the car that is far and away the worst in the entire field. You have to feel gutted for Coolest Forza. That is remarkable. I mean, they got 3 podiums in a row earlier in the season. They looked very solid. They were ahead of their sister team for almost the entire season. They've had a great car. BFX had a great car. Porsche have the best car on the grid and only just survived relegation in the last round. And
I have to say, I'm gutted for Pappy Pops, who now will come up
you're right.
with 0 speed because of Coolest Forza.
Oh, poor Pappy Pops. Well, congrats to Forza Roja for once again finishing 9th in the Constructors' Championship for the 3rd season in a row. They somehow managed it. I mean,
Anti with a bittersweet ending there. He got the World Drivers' Championship, but no Constructors for SFR. I think they'll still be happy coming in third.
The Constructors was always going to be a fever dream there. I mean, they were so close. But the Constructors was always going to be. Anti, with how close he got, is incredible. I mean, if you told Superfast Racing, after being 22 points behind after Valencia, I believe it was 22 points last, and just having their season flip on its head, Anti your World Drivers Champion, and coming so close to the Constructors, if only Anti. 1.85 seconds was all that separated him from them claiming double championships, double honours this season. That is unbelievable. But Vladinator, coming away with nothing, will still be delighted for his teammate. Let me do the rest of the rundown just quickly. So not that guy. Then Jake Brad in 6th and maybe the fastest lap. Sobel in 7th. That means that BFX were more than comfortable enough staying up, but staying up by only a few points, I believe, Kubo. 6 points, was it?
BFX, yeah. 6 points. So literally, the 6 points Sobel gained here, the 6 points he gained in this tokenless finale, that's what helped them stay up. Otherwise, they would have lost to Coolest Forza on tiebreak.
That's insane. That's unbelievable. Then Vladinator in 8th, not enough points for him, unfortunately, to secure the Constructors. But starting in 11th, he had a mammoth task on his hands. Kamikaze and Kubo, Neon Sunset Virtual, in what is probably Jake's final ever Ultimate Virtual race, we'll be completely honest. Securing 2nd in the championship in their first ever season, they'll be very happy. That also means, incredibly, our 1st and 2nd place teams in the World Constructors Championship did not exist last season. They are brand new Constructors who have taken a 1-2. That is quite simply crazy. Then we get on to the losers. Spectrum Rito didn't take any points this race. He finishes yet another season without a podium and right down the World Drivers' Championship. Is this the end for him and BFX? You can't be tolerating performances like that from a double world champion. Bluebell Boy, agonizingly close, but did not secure the points that he needed to save Cola Sforza from relegation. His project, his baby, who rose up from the third to the first tier of virtual racing, goes straight back down. Grandy, agonizingly, with his teammate 2 places behind him, and ThunderX, having led both championships from round 1 to round 11, come away with nothing. 4th place.
It's a shame as well.
4th in the constructors and 3rd in the drivers. Pit crew didn't live up to it in the second half of the season.
Not a single podium to his name.
No.
Poor guy.
That's remarkable. Andrian, 16th. He is the big what if this season. Luckily not for Fuerza Roja because they survived by 3 points just about. But he is the big what if. I mean the fact that they were at all a factor in this race is because of his bizarre DNF at the Turkish Grand Prix. Fox in 17th place. Terrible race from him, but he won't care a single penny about it. He has won the World Constructors Championship, first time of asking, and really brought back round the legacy of that WTEC team. Uriton 18th, he had nothing to fight for, as did Jarunian 20th. Mart 19th will be going down to challenge a virtual unless he can secure himself a seat at another team for next season. Hermenica looks like he has a free seat to offer, so that should shake up the silly season a little bit. We've been rolling for going on 50 minutes now, but it has been a video that absolutely deserves it. Kubo, what are your closing remarks?
Closing remarks, probably the Fox Neon Sunset, I think is gonna be a rising rivalry. Both of us having done well in our debut teams is there's some parallels to BFX and VLO. And Neon Sunset had a great, Fox just had a better one. Also, Fox just brilliant token plans. I'm pretty sure they prioritized like 1 and 2 token spends, and it's paid off for them massively. Yeah, they just spent a lot of they spent 2 and 1 token spends, and they just scored a lot of points. Of course, Abfer single-handedly getting them that constructors title did just enough. Needed that extra after he lost the podium place. He needed just that extra push from Apley to dispossess Ante of the victory, and that was all Fox needed. Great season. I will look back on this with joy, and also very interesting to see what teams will start with how much speed for next season of the teams staying here.
That will be coming soon. The roles have been done, are confirmed in, and certain teams will be starting with a lot more speed than others. I love the comparison of Fox and Neon Sunset as the new BFX and VLO, because that means that you're repeating the pattern of going to a new team, finishing second in the constructors, and then slowly getting more and more mediocre results until you leave out of depression. How's
Well, I can't really leave my team.
You can't leave this time. Oh dear, you're gonna be second forever. Well, on that bombshell, what a season. 12 races spanning all the way from July to October. Thank you so much for following on this journey. If you have, for every single race, it has truly been something magical. That is all. It's been an absolute honour to commentate alongside the great Kubo for the very first time in the virtual leagues.
It's been an honour, Scipio. Brilliant.
That's all from us. It's all from me for this season. Until next time. Bye-bye.